If that sequence was done CG, let's say, that detail with, you know, saliva and the goo and the thing and the light and all that stuff, forget about it. It's like $150,000. It's more affordable and looks better. I think CG could have done that looking that great. The tricky part is that it's really hard to know how to shoot it, how to light it, and how to make it work. I had a meeting at Scott Free after Don't Breathe came out, and it was like, oh, I hope you guys gonna go back to horror. Take it back to the original. Take it back to the beginning. Make it look like, you know, retro futuristic. It really has to do that. Very simple. Do all practical effects. You know, try to avoid over CG in it. Like that's a movie. And suddenly, was I pitching? Not really. It was just from passion, telling the movie that I want to see. His relationship with Andy and Rain was there, and the producer was like, huh. Do you want to write it? I was like, fuck yeah, well, I would love to do it. But it never happened at the time because really was going to do Covenant and it was going to be possible. Just a couple of years later, the studio found out about the story that I had once pitched, an alien movie at Scott Free, and we chat and they asked me what it was and I told them what it was. And they got really excited about it and that's how it went. I kept going. I was living in Uruguay, doing small commercials. I had done some music videos with my friends. I was in my late 20s at that point. You know, I had made a short movie, I don't know if you know, but I made a $300 short movie back home called Panic Attack.
You did all the visual effects?
I did all the visual effects myself. I've always been good at that, and I learned a lot by making this. And it was a small, not ambitious idea of let's make an alien invasion of giant robots in my city with $300. I decided to stop working for a month. I knew I was going to run out of money, and I was like, okay, I can survive. And I devoted all my time to finish this, and it changed my life. So you never know what's at the end of that project. You've been delayed, and you never know. Put it on YouTube because I thought it was the easiest way to send my mother a link. I went to bed, I woke up, it had already like millions of views, phone rings at my house, and this guy with a Latin accent says he's from Warner Brothers. From where I'm from, that never happens. This is pre-Zoom, so it's more the Skype times. So we knew we had Sam Raimi's assistant Skype email because we had a couple of calls about the other movie that died. And we just, on the middle of the random day, we just dialed him up. He was like, the guy picked up the phone. Hey, I was like, hey, it's us, Roy and I. Is Sam around? That's how you used to try to find a date when I was young. You just call and the dad would pick up the phone. It was like, is this girl around? And he was like, who is this? You had to just call. This is the same. So I just dial in. He picked up the phone, the assistant. He's so confused. Clearly that's never happened. You weren't on the
calendar, yeah.
He's like, do you have a scheduled meeting with him? And we're like, no. He says, is it busy? We said. I was like, let me find out. He walks out. Sam shows up in the Zoom going like, and this guy going like, hey. And you were like, hey, it's us. Hey, guys. So confused of what's going on. And we said, we heard you were interested in us for Evil Dead. He's confused, even more confused. He's like, am I? And it was like, I think someone said, it doesn't matter. Look, we think we can make a great story. And we thought, what if this happens and we start pitching the story? Like imagine like if this is the cabin with the thing and she's a drug addict and blah, blah, blah. And Sam couldn't walk away from the story. It was like, and then what? Oh, you want to know more? Oh, and this and that and that and this. And then I can see he's sitting down, he's listening. And then he asked for water, and we just pitching. It was like a half an hour pitch of the whole fucking movie. And at the time, he was like, yeah. Yeah, I want you guys to make an Evil Dead movie. And that's how it came about. It was the most ridiculous thing.
A cold call.
Just cold. That no meeting. When on the other movie, when we used to schedule them, it was usually, okay, a month from now, you have an hour sometime. And I was thinking, this is so ineffective. And he did amazing. I think he did great. That every take was great. Like I had to choose what was more exciting. That every time he was doing something interesting, which is really hard because you can do the whole makeup, but then the person doesn't deliver or gets insecure, doesn't really want to go for it. But he goes toe to toe there with like Isabella Merced on the face to face, smelling her and reacting to her touch in ways that are really incredible, I think, for someone that never acted before. So we were really lucky that it not only it had the size that we wanted, and Kaylee, plays Rain, and she's 5 foot tall. So together they were something. We reached out to him and just reached out directly, and I did a Zoom call, and I said, hey, we're going to make this movie. He knew about Alien. When I mentioned Alien, he knew about it. And I explained on the original, there was this actor that played that was a really tall guy, and I would love to do it the same way. Like, are you interested in doing it? It's something you think you can get a kick out of doing? And he was like, fuck yeah. You have to create your own idea of your industry, your world, how movies are made. The blessing I always had is I did know nothing about this town. And that saved my life because I was never affected by the idea of what should I do to break into the business, which is the question I get asked the most when I meet students and young filmmakers. And I always go, fuck, and I'm so sorry you had to ask me that question, because that is, it's already a problem that you're thinking how I'm gonna. And again, I don't blame it. Maybe it's desperation and I just want to figure it out. I want to figure it out, but it's not. That's the last thing you should do. I think it's always about really try to make films on your own. You live in a time where you can get a small camera and go shoot things. I know you hear that all the time, but it's true. I think the power of cinema is not the format or the lenses or the thing. It is way better that way, but going back to what I was saying of a good story is bulletproof. A good story is bulletproof. Like it's hard to come up with them, but if you have a good story, it's bulletproof. And in whatever format it is, people start watching, and if it's well told, you hook them right away in the first few seconds and you're in it and you want to know what's going to happen next. And that's what I love about this, and that's what anybody of you can do these days with any cameras that we couldn't, in the 90s. So it's truly about creating your own reality of what I think, how does it work? How can I make a movie? The obsession of trying to understand how the business works, or what are the steps, what are the path, who is the person that will help you, which is no one. Usually it's just people will want you to help them. It took me a while to realize this, and this is how I changed radically my approach to meetings and talking with the executive or talking with the producer. They are desperate to find good things to make. Desperate. People love passion and vision, and they'll give you money just to test if that thing you said is true.